Today I'm going to show you how to throw with perfect accuracy every single time without even looking. Okay, so I got the idea for this video from a Cinecom.net YouTube video. They use exactly the same sort of technique. Obviously the setup is different. Theirs is a basketball, ridiculously long basketball shot, but the same techniques are used, and that's where I got this sort of technique from. So what we're going to do is start with a clip of me talking and throwing the paper balls in as much in the right direction as I can. Today I'm going to show you how to throw with perfect accuracy every single time without even looking. Okay, so you can see that the balls are sort of going in roughly the right direction. Obviously it's pretty much impossible to actually get the balls in the pot for all three of those shots in one take. That would be absolutely ridiculous. So the idea is that we're going to fake it. So you want to be throwing the balls in as much of the right direction as you can. The travel is sort of the same kind of arc as it would as if it was going to land. Obviously if I threw them straight up, then the effect wouldn't work. If I threw them straight across, it wouldn't work either, because obviously they need to go behind and sort of over my left shoulder. The next clips are me throwing the balls into the pot, sort of actually getting the shot from a lot closer, so I would actually get them in the pot. And there's the three shots there. So you can use the same clip 3 times, but if you use 3 different ones, then it does look a lot more realistic, because you kind of get different sort of behavior as the ball sort of lands in the pot. For example, the first one kind of bounces around a little bit, and the second one goes straight in. It just gives it a little bit more sort of realism. So there's those 3 shots, and there were those 3 throws in the first clip. What you're also going to need is a shot of the room that you're in, but with nothing in, nothing moving. And what I'm actually going to do is use an image of it, which is going to be a screen grab. If we go to the screen grab, make sure that you've got import into project selected, and we'll call it fixed room, and it should appear back in your project here. So we'll drag that back in, and you can actually get rid of that video file. So now we've got an image of the room to use as a layer. So your bottom layer is actually going to be the room, so doesn't matter how long it is at the moment. So that's your bottom layer. Next layer up is going to be the shot of me talking, and then on top of that we're going to insert in the right places these shots of the balls actually going in to the pot. So we're going to find the right sort of place to insert those clips, and if we sort of scroll over, we'll find the frame where the ball is kind of parallel with the pot. So I think that will give us the most sort of accurate results. So around there, and what we're going to do is insert this first clip on top along with the audio. So this place that we've sort of marked is where the audio from the ball going into the pot is going to sit. So if we just move it over to about there, so that audio is pretty much where the ball goes past the pot. So you can kind of listen out for the timing with the audio. How to throw. But the problem is, as you've just heard, we've got the audio from the original clip of the balls landing on the floor. So we want to get rid of that. Very simply, just unlink those clips, make a split, and just drag it out until I start talking again. So we've got plenty of audio from this clip here. But what I'm going to do is just put a couple of fades just to blend in these audios just so we don't get any sort of sudden audio clips beginning, and then same with the other end. But obviously we don't want to fade into the audio of me talking. And we'll unlink this clip and just trim it down again because there's a load of silence there, just to kind of neaten it up a little bit. So now what we've got is this. With perfect accuracy. Okay, that works for me. So once the ball has landed in this clip on top, obviously there's nothing else that happens in the clip itself, so we can pretty much just trim that as and when. So we've got that clip perfectly timed, but the reason we've got this clip of the image of the fixed room underneath is we want to do some masking. So we want to try and find the point in this clip where the ball has left my hand. So about there. So obviously there it's going to be a little bit hard to mask out, but that looks good. We've got a nice clear gap. So we're going to add a mask on this clip. Just start with a square, you can do it however you like. But we want to mask out that ball. Excuse the lag, I'm still using Premiere on the new M1 chip Mac Mini, so it's still going through Rosetta. I've used the beta version and it does perform a lot better, but they haven't got support for the third-party plugins that I use. Anyway, so we're left with this mask here. So it's got me in the shot and we've masked out that ball. So then on this clip on top, we want to draw a mask getting rid of this version of me, but so you can basically see the ball going into the cup. So something like this. I'm doing it quite roughly. The final version was a little bit more refined, but you get the idea. So now what we've got is two different masked clips, this one and this one. Yeah, so if we get rid of that fixed room shot, you can obviously see the two different masks and you're left with this sort of black area. So if we reintroduce that fixed room shot, then that solves the problem. So let's just have a look at this mask, make sure that, okay, so the first little frame there, you can see my hand still. So we just want to make a little adjustment to that. So that should do for now. So now what we're left with is this. That's a throw. So you've got the ball leaving my hand and then appearing here, and you've got rid of that other version of me over there. But obviously there's a big long gap where the ball disappears. And what we're going to do is create a fake ball traveling across the room. So what we'll need for that is, if we find a point in this clip where the ball is perfectly in focus, no motion blur, I'll just make a copy and we'll scrub through this clip. I'll just remove the mask. So we want to find a point where, okay, if there's a little bit of motion blur, that's fine. So we're going to find one frame where the ball is not too smudged or anything. It's pretty clear and is easy to cut around. So we'll find that one frame and just chop that one frame out. And then we're going to add a mask, but this time we'll use the pencil tool. Zoom in a little bit, and you're just going to draw around that shape of the ball. Okay, so this frame is just the shape of this ball. So you're also going to add a frame hold. So we've got a frame hold of this little chopped out ball, and we're going to use this frame over the top here. So we're going to find the point where the ball leaves my hand. So just there. So the frame after the ball sort of enters or exits the mask, so you can no longer see it. And we're going to trim that down up until the next clip starts. So you're going to basically animate the journey of the ball from this point to this point. So we're going to begin by nesting this frame hold. Just call it ball journey, and we're going to add a transform effect, and we're going to be animating the position and the scale. So the first frame is going to be matched up with the ball in this clip here. So let's just move that into the right place around there. And for the last frame, okay, so we're actually going to chop this clip down a little bit until we can just see a little bit of the ball still in the pot. Okay. So about there. And then move this on back to the original place. Okay, so we've moved that clip just so it overlaps by one frame. So now you can see the original place that it started, the sort of fake ball, and the place that it ends up on this final frame. So we're going to move the fake ball over to where you can see the ball in just before it lands in the pot, and we're also going to scale down. So as you scale, it scales the whole image, because remember it is a masked image, so you just have to reposition the ball there. So that looks about right. So obviously that's added keyframes in, so now you can see it's added a bit of a journey to the ball as we go frame by frame. But obviously that looks completely wrong. At the moment it goes straight from this point to this point, so we need to find a good point in the middle somewhere to move the ball up, so then it will create a sort of arc. So let's have a look for now. So we're getting close. If you do want to adjust the sort of smoothness of the arc, because at the moment it goes up to here and then straight back down to there, then you just click transform here, and you can sort of make adjustments to the arc by moving these two sort of levers. So just have a play around, and also play around with where this arc, sort of the peak of the arc, is going to be, because you might want to move it a little bit earlier on. Because if you think about when the ball travels from here to here, it's obviously not just going to be a perfect arc, it's going to sort of go a bit quicker to begin with, and then it's going to end up in the background. So that's sort of the rough idea. What I am going to do is add a shutter angle. We'll try 180. So shutter angle is almost like shutter speed, and it creates motion blur. So you get a kind of natural motion blur. But that looks pretty good to me. Obviously I repeated the same process for the other two throws. So the behaviour is going to be slightly different depending on sort of how you throw the ball. If you actually launch the ball towards the pot, then it's going to be more of a linear motion. But if you sort of throw it in an arc, then you're going to have to use keyframes and sort of edit the curve to make it more of a realistic sort of journey. For the last one, obviously I hit it, so it's going to go directly up very quickly first, and there's going to be a lot more of an arc. But that's the general idea. Hope that made sense. Hope you got something from this video. If you did, then make sure you hit subscribe and make sure you like the video as well. If you do have any suggestions for other videos, then don't forget to leave a comment down below. I'd really appreciate that. Also, let me know what you thought of the video as well. I always like to hear some feedback. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.